Hey folks, welcome to my Take a Gander series where I preview games that I think are worth keeping an eye on for when they eventually release. This is not a review series, and any opinions I share on any of the various aspects within the games of this series aren't definitive of the final product, and can change when the final product releases. One thing that each game within this series will share in common is that each will have a playable demo, at least during the filming and uploading of these videos. This is so that I can give a hands-on impression, but also so that you too can see for yourself if a particular game is something you'd like to play when it releases. So I encourage everyone to try the games out for yourself if what you see here sparks your interest. Today we're taking a gander at Mirthwood. Mirthwood is a narrative-driven survival craft RPG that's unique in its presentation, with a sort of storybook 2.5D art style and graphics. It seems very roleplay focused, taking the use to gain approach to skill acquisition, meaning as you craft, gather, farm, fight, etc., you gain experience and skills in those respective areas. The synopsis of this game on its Steam page promises an open-ended approach to one's immersion and roleplay experience, insinuating that one can choose to focus on their farm, homestead, and trading, or to focus on the combat and adventuring side of things. What intrigues me about this game is its emphasis on immersion and roleplay. While the graphics will be something that's hit or miss with the audience, it's the systems at play that I think could make for a lot of emergent narrative. Being able to build and play out your own stories within a game is something that makes games which facilitate that stand out from the rest in my book. Whether Mirthwood will succeed in that is something no one can remark on yet, but the bones are definitely there, which I will get into now. Mirthwood has within it a crafting and farming system, as well as a day-night hunger, energy, and health system, putting it squarely in the survival craft genre. However, it also has a quest, morality, and socialization system, very reminiscent of The Sims if you are familiar with that series of games, where nothing is literally said when you are engaged in conversation with an NPC, but concepts are chosen from a menu, and they react favorably or not depending on various factors. What makes me excited here is that the game does not force you into any one specific game loop. If you love farming, crafting, and trading, it invites you to engage with that. If you'd rather abandon your farm and strike out and explore an adventure, there is no system in place, at least in the demo version, that beckons or forces you to tend to your homestead. According to the roadmap, there will also be a family and offspring system, reminiscent of games like the aforementioned Sims or Crusader Kings, where you can have a family, raise your children, and then eventually take over those characters. This was not in the demo, so I can't say how robust the system is supposed to be, or if this will even be added in the final version, just relaying what is on their Steam page currently. I'm not clear on if this is supposed to be in the 1.0 version or soon after the release, but we'll find out in a few days anyway. There is combat as well, but from what I can tell the gameplay for it is very basic. Systematically, though, it is as robust as the other options with its own skill path. Speaking of skill paths, there are no skill trees to advance in and make choices with. Rather, each skill has a linear track of progression that you unlock as you skill those levels up. At certain levels in each skill, you'll gain skill cards in each path that seems to basically be added to a deck, for lack of a better term. And you choose which cards to keep in your hand. I'm not clear how many cards in hand you can have, but if I'm right, there's a certain limit and you'll be expected to pick and choose which skills you want your character to have. The only thing I'm not really taken with is the graphics. I have no issue with the 2.5D graphics, but the art style is something that doesn't really interest me at all. However, graphics are typically low on my priority list when it comes to the value of a game, but I felt it fair to mention them as they are unique or niche enough that I'm going to assume it's going to be a hit or miss with some people. During my playthrough of the demo, I found that I didn't mind them as much as I thought I would, but I think that speaks more for the gameplay than anything else, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. As mentioned before, Mirthwood will be releasing in a 1.0 state, meaning when it comes out, that is going to be considered the full product with every system and mechanism working as it should. The original release date was going to be the 11th of September of this year, but they delayed it until November 6th in order to give it polish as well as to include every planned and promised feature from the game's roadmap. This is actually a big plus in my book, as I very much miss the days when games would release as intended. Obviously, they'll likely add patches or fixes or updates and may have DLC down the road, who knows, but I appreciate having a full 1.0 game at launch, so good on the devs for that. These are just my demo impressions and a preview of Mirthwood, Again, this is not a review, but merely a video for a game I think others might want to pay attention to, based on my impressions with the playable demo. I may do a review in the future once I have my hands on the full release where I can share any critiques or feedback I might have, but for now, these are the impressions I have, and I hope you enjoyed this Gander. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and ring that bell for more videos like this one. Take care all and keep chill.